All right, hey everybody. Real quick, this will be hopefully a shorter video for you. We're just going to show you how you can tag standards within our platform. There's a couple ways you can do that. The first one here is if I go into Create, go to Assessment, I'm going to generate with AI. So for example, I'm going to give it a prompt and I'm going to say, you know what, create me an assessment on fractions, and we'll select standards here and let's go to Math. We'll say roughly 5th grade, and let's pretend we're from Texas. Maybe we're down in San Antonio for ISTE. And it would help if I could do my alphabet. There we go. And I narrow it down even more. If I search for fractions, I can say, okay, you know what? Let's do adding and subtracting, multiplication, and division. And then we're going to hit done here. And now I can say 10 questions. It's already set to Math 5th grade. I'm going to hit continue, and the AI is going to generate this piece of content for me. So what exactly does that mean? It's going to default first to multiple choice. You'll see it looks like it's going to throw in some images as well. And within about a minute or so, you'll have a pretty good assessment. The reason I want to call this out, though, is that if you'll notice, it's also identifying which standard is aligned for which question, and there's a reason for that. So when we push this assessment out, the teacher and educator will get some really, really valuable data. It's going to show how the students did on each individual question and how their classroom did as a whole on the standard too. So we'll show that next once this is done. And then we'll show you the other way you can tag standards manually if you like. So let's just say I'm going to use this quiz here. I'm ready to go. I can always tweak it and change it if I want, so it's not multiple choice. That is perfectly fine. We'll save this one for later. But going back to that data piece, let's go in here and I'll show you an example here. Let's say, I believe it was inequalities. Of course it wasn't. Hold on here, we'll find it. There we go, integers and absolute value. All right, so here's what that data reporting is going to look like. So let's pretend we just built out that assignment, but instead of doing fractions, we did integers and absolute value. What's great is when it goes to the standards, it's going to identify the standards I chose to build out that assignment, but it's also going to tell me which students struggled, and it's going to also surface additional practice. So what does that mean? So now I know, based on questions for positive integers and negative integers, these 5 students struggled, number 1, but then with the click of a button, it can generate content for me based on the standard and the grade level I chose when making this. So now I can send it to just those small groups. I can pull that group back. We can do it together if we want. Really, I can tackle that however I like. The other component with the standards, though, that's really, really exciting is that it's also going to identify, here's the standards we chose for this activity, how my class did as a whole on each standard, but then also it's going to break it down individually. So maybe I'm having a meeting with Justin's parents and we might need to have a talk because 2 of the 3 standards we focused on this month, he really struggled. But then maybe if I'm meeting Jacob's parents, that conversation is going to go very differently. So again, just wanted to show you what can be done in terms of the standards and then also the data reporting. And this is all generated literally instantaneously once your students finish the assessment. So you don't need to worry about the grading component. It's all done for you, and then it goes through and identifies which students struggled and which questions they struggled with based on which standards are aligned. All right. The other thing we can do is if we go in and say we want to build something by hand, let's just say it's going to be multiple choice. Let's say I'm building out my assessment here. I can go up here to this tag standard button, and I can search for my standards in general. So again, let's say we'll do Illinois this time. Here's my Illinois learning standards. I can then search my subject matter. Let's say I want to do, let's do English, and we'll say 10th grade. But again, all the grades are there. And I can choose those standards and say, all right, I want to do text evidence and citing it. And now this question is tagged with this particular standard. So when that data reporting comes back, whatever I type in here, it will identify it that type of question. So again, just want to call out, that's how you tackle that. And that is the data reporting piece as well. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. Thanks, everybody.